So I recently watched both Sailor Moon and Sailor Moon Crystal, and I wanted to compare the differences. And I'm sure a lot of folks are wondering which one is worth watching. I haven't actually read the manga, so I can't say how accurate it is, aside from what I've heard from others. This is more for the anime watcher's perspective. I'll break this video into a few parts so you can skip to what part interests you the most. So starting with the animation, Sailor Moon is known for its wonderful hand-drawn animation. It's very typically shoujo with the big eyes and sparkly colours. The backgrounds are also stunning. Crystal, however, well, the first two seasons are kinda rough. I'm not a big fan of the lip gloss. I don't know, it just looks too shiny. And the eyes are a little too bug-like. And yeah, the transformation sequences are CGI. I'm not anti-CGI in anime or anything. I have seen some good examples of CGI in anime. However, these transformation sequences are, well, controversial for a reason. Maybe not as bad as Berserk 2016, but yeah. Luckily, the animation does receive an upgrade in Season 3 onwards. The animation is much more pleasant to look at, and the transformation sequences are no longer in crappy CGI. Would I say it's better than the original 90s animation? Hard to say. The Season 3 onward animation is pretty good, but the 90s anime is much more consistent. Personal preference, I guess. Story. The two adaptations tell the same story, sort of. You know, ordinary girl Usagi, who is actually the reincarnated Moon Princess, becomes a magical girl, and is joined by her friends. So I will be getting a little bit spoilery here, so if you're not familiar with the story, well, I won't go into too much depth, or this video would be super long, so I'll keep it brief. For one, the girls seem to be a lot meaner to each other in Sailor Moon, especially Rei. She's not quite as fiery in Crystal. There's a few characters that appear in Sailor Moon that don't appear in Crystal. Some side characters get more development. The ending of Sailor Moon Season 1 is pretty different to Crystal. In the final movies of Crystal, a lot more characters die. Yeah, it's way more hardcore, honestly. We get to see a lot more of the outer senshi, especially Pluto, in Crystal. We see Usagi's bisexuality in Crystal. We also get a lot more lore in Crystal, as well. Now, we're gonna have to address one of the main differences between the two shows, the pacing. So yeah, the pacing between the two series is pretty different. Sailor Moon is a little notorious for filler. Is filler a bad thing? Not really, but is too much of it a bad thing? Well, the manga of Sailor Moon is not actually that long. So to stretch out the story of Sailor Moon, the original 90s anime really puffed out the plot, at least half of its episodes of filler. While there are some enjoyable episodes, in my opinion the filler got really tiring after a while, especially in Season 4, I was starting to get sick of it. Now, as for Crystal, it's kind of the opposite. The pacing goes by way too fast in Season 1 and 2. I was really hoping to get some more time with each of the girls. One thing I will say about the 90s show, I like that they spaced out the girls joining the team more evenly. That being said, Crystal's pacing improves a lot in Season 3, while still having danger but also not making it go by as fast. Like I said before, it gives us a lot more moments with the outer senshi. The pacing in the two movies is pretty good as well. You really feel Usagi's terror as her friends are taken away. Faithfulness to the manga. Okay, I know I said I haven't read the manga, but I'll talk about this anyway. This is from what others have said, not my own opinion. So, Crystal is essentially a reboot of Sailor Moon, and it's said to be more accurate to the manga. Sailor Moon gets pretty off track when it comes to adapting the manga. For one, Luna's base isn't in there, the girls are meaner to each other, there are no gays, there is filler. Sailor Venus doesn't get as much backstory. There is actually a spin-off manga about her though. I don't know, maybe the manga is actually the best way to experience the story or something. So this is just my overall feelings. Anyway, if I had to pick a fave, I'd go with Crystal, honestly. Yeah, it's got its problems, but man, that filler on the original series. I was so bored. Crystal Season 3 onwards is actually pretty great. It's a shame the first two seasons don't match its quality. At the end of the day though, it's really up to you what you watch. I'm not your boss. Or just read the manga, I don't know. Don't be lazy like me. Read the manga. Okay, bye losers.
I can't accept the fact that you think the moon is nothing but just an object that floats around the Earth. It just can't work.